clipper, man. Hi guys, welcome on the show. My name is Keoliva Sanusi and I'm the founder of High Price Prodigy Barbershop. I'm also a barber as well. So I would like you all to introduce yourself to me so I can get to know you better. So let's go.
I'm Emmanuel. I'm also a barber like you.
All right, welcome Emmanuel.
I'm Bulu Atife. I'm also a barber.
Okay, welcome Bolu.
I'm Harmony and I'm a practicing barber.
Okay, welcome.
My name is Obina and I'm a barber, hairstylist, anything about the hair, I'm there.
It's good to have you all here. So I'll just, I have a few questions I will need to ask you. So, and I want each and everyone to give me honest answer, based on your past experience. If you happen to be a barber and you cutting a hair and you realize the hair is pulling, the clipper is pulling the hair, what could be the possible cause of that issue?
Well, the issue is going to be the clipper or the blade of the clipper, which is the clipper, sha. So in that case, you either remove the blade, clean the blade of the clipper, then return it back again.
Can you go a bit details about that?
Well, most blades, we have two types of blade. You can either have the sharp one or the one that is not sharp, obviously. So it's either the blade is dull from the mouth. So obviously it's going to be pulling the air because it's not going smooth as it's meant to be. So that's the cause.
Okay.
I'm not really sure how I'll answer the question because I'm kind of like an apprentice, so I've not really experienced that before.
Okay.
I think it will be the clipper that will be at fault, or sometimes the hair. Probably the screw wasn't tight, or too much oiling. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, in that kind of situation, I'm going to change the blade. Basically, you know how we have blades for different hairs, different hairs, length. We have blades for the big, for an afro. We also have the ones that can shape it out a little bit. So if I see that the blade is pulling, I can just change the blade into something that is smooth and that can actually help the length of that particular hair that I'm cutting right now.
Are you telling me for every time your blade pull hair, you have to change the blade?
No, not all the times, but in some occasions where it is actually stressing you and pulling, you have to change and know what is suitable.
But I don't want you to talk about you changing the blade. I want you to talk about what caused the thing
Okay,
to happen.
There's another one. Maybe the hair wasn't carefully combed out, so I'm going to make sure I comb it out properly so that my blade can go through the hair.
Okay. My other question I'll be pushing to every one of you, but I would like the question to start from her because she seems like she knows what she's doing so much. What's the best way to disinfect your clippers? There used to be a time where people believe, putting fire, excessive fire or heat on the clipper, but all those ones are obsolete now. There's a different way of, sterilizing your clipper for better performance. So what's the best modern way of sterilizing your clipper? Tools in general.
In general. Okay, so basically, to sterilize the clippers.
And I wouldn't mind if you can give me the name of those tools you use in sterilizing your clipper.
Okay. So basically, so basically, normal sterilizing, first of all, you have to, make sure the clippers are clean, the blades and everything. Then you put in the sterilizer, or most times people we use some kinds of
Can you please give the mic to the next person? Thank you.
So aside from the sterilizing,
We are talking about the sterilizing.
Okay. Kerosene.
Can you please pass the mic to the other person? Or you still want to try? Do you want to try?
There's one I have seen my boss do, but I don't know if it is what everybody does.
Yeah, you can. We are talking from your own
Okay,
experience. So give me
petrol.
your own experience. What's the name?
Fuel. She sprays it on it. Yes.
Kerosene, diesel,
No.
on clipper.
Kerosene.
So how do you now use
And then
it
he
on clipper
puts it
to
inside the
disinfect it?
sterilizing and then lets it.
You
No,
put
no,
the
no.
kerosene
Like
on the clipper, then
he sprays it on the clipper and then puts it inside the sterilizer and then lets it do its job.
okay. That should be like in the time of Moses. That's when they're doing that.
So I know my boss stopped using fire to like clean the clipper. So he uses spirit.
Spirit on clipper.
That's what he uses. So that what I've seen
Okay.
him use.
I like that spirit of you guys. So can you please pass the mic?
Well, anytime Smart want to clean his clipper, Smart, that's my boss where I work, because I'm still learning also. So anytime I want to clean the clipper, I mostly use that lighter or something, which I prefer also, because I feel that will kill the germs more. And at times, if he does not use that, he use the sterilizing machine, but he hardly use that one. He use the fire mostly.
Lighter. That's why I say there used to be a time where people use lighter and fire, but those ones are outdated, they are obsolete. So which one is the modern and most effective way to sterilize?
Using the sterilizing machine, actually.
Sterilizing machine. Even sterilizing machine is outdated now, but still a different way of sterilizing tools now.
Okay, let's say the use of oil. Yes, there is this
Oil.
particular.
Actually, oil does not sterilize; it only lubricates.
Oh, that's where the mix-up come from. Sorry. The sterilizer or lighter Smart use? I don't know.
Okay, thanks. You never hear about cool handies, clipper
No,
side,
Smart don't say that.
and all those things.
He never said
You never
that.
hear about that. Oh. So, all right, guys. I think with this time, let's go on a break, and once I come back, then we'll be able to evict one person. Do you understand? Thank you. Welcome back, guys. So, I think with my past questions, I will be able to evict one person now. So, it's not really per se eviction, but at least you can have some rest and just listen to also, you learn more about this entire thing. So, and Mrs. On White, so you can just, bounce for now. Thanks.
No, I'm not a barber. So what I think gave me away was the fact that I was pretty obvious. I was acting obvious that I wasn't the barber. I was very unsure of my questions, of my answers rather, and I was making a lot of side comments. Now I at least know different types of barbing styles. Not all the types, so, but at least, this is how long, because I never actually put that to mind. I'm always shouting at my brother about why he takes so long in the barbing salon, but now I know why, because it actually takes a while, like when I'm making my hair as well. And I know how to hold the clipper too. Yay.
Imagine you in a barber shop as a barber and a client walk in, and this client is giving you a style, a preferred style that they want for their own hair, and you feel this style will not really suit their look or aesthetics. So what would you do in that kind of scenarios? I don't know if you have experienced that, but just even if you experience that, so what would you do in that scenario? Someone trying to look for a style that does not fit their look or aesthetic. Just like someone trying to make a haircut that they don't have the hair to like carry out the entire operation. So what would you do in that scenarios?
Okay, you give the person suggestions. You tell him the reason why you're giving him suggestion also. And depends on if the person reacts well with it, that means it's good with it. And if he does not, you give him what he asks for.
Yeah, based on what my boss used to do, he tells the customer, the client, that this hair cannot suit you. You explain the situation to the client, telling him why it can't suit the client. Like he said, if the client still insists, either he gives one of his apprentices to do it, or
okay, your boss will just pass the person over. Okay, I get.
So basically, the customer is always right. Anything the customer wants, I'm going to do it for the customer. And even if it's a situation whereby his hair is too low or too, high, I'll just work within the style and, you explore my creativity with the haircuts.
Even if someone is bowed and they want to braid their hair, you have to
Obviously,
braid it for them.
that's a stretch. They can't come in bald and want to braid their hair. Okay. Definitely.
But you're just saying customer is always right.
In some
whatever they want,
scenarios
you give to them.
where, like I said, that's a stretch. In some scenarios where they come in for a fade or like coming for a taper, or like they want to do afro or whatever, I just work with the hair that I'm, in. And at the end of the day, my magic hands, they always feel the vibe at the end, like, period.
Okay. I believe each and every one of you have different experience with different brand of clippers and all. So, which is your favorite brand of clippers? Just give me like 2 names of your favorite brand of clipper that you've used personally, and you can also suggest for me. Let me say I'm a novice now, and you want to suggest a clipper for me. Give me 2 brand names, and I don't want anyone to mention the same clipper brand name. So each and everyone should mention 2 clippers, and don't repeat whatever anyone has said earlier.
Sony clipper. Yes. Sony.
That sounds weird. I've not heard about that before.
And Panasonic
clipper.
Yes.
Okay. 2. I may say 2. Sonic and Panasonic.
Like I'm not getting the correct pronunciation. It's Sony.
Yeah.
Sony, maybe Sony or Sony.
Sony clipper.
Yes.
Are you sure there's a Sony clipper?
Yes.
And Panasonic clipper.
So I'm not really good with names. So I've not really noticed.
So you don't know any name at all?
I remember Sony, but
you remember Sony?
Since you said you don't know it, and you said you shouldn't mention any clipper too, like what?
But if I tell you to mention brand of cars names, you have so many brands you can mention. That's the same thing as clipper. There's so many of them. So I don't even think you need to repeat whatever you have said. You can mention your own. So you've not really been working with clippers, right?
I have, but...
And you don't know the name of tools you've been working with? Yeah, you can pass the mic.
So basically, I could use like a wall clipper.
Basically, everything basic.
So there's wall, and then I think Oraimo just released one new one. Yeah.
So if someone comes from a fade, a fade haircut, a low fade, plus or minus, how long do you think the hair should take without enhancements? Like if you want to give a proper fade haircut, how long do you think it should take from start to finish?
Oh, so you just said proper fade. The person had a fade prior, so I'm just like adjusting the fade. Like
you're not adjusting fade, you are doing your own from the beginning.
It won't take me more than, like you said, without all the enhancements and the, and the lineup, it will take me about, 45 minutes, thereabouts.
You are guessing, but it's fine.
It will take me like 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Flash.
It's a low fade, so it's not...
So pass the mic.
Low fade, 1 hour, 30 minutes.
Okay, 1 hour, 30 minutes. That's a complete movie time. Okay, I think now we need to have a break, so we'll come back and we can evict one person, then we have our 2 last men standing. So welcome back, and like I said, someone have to leave our stage, and I think the person is in the middle. So I would like you to just bounce respectfully times.
I felt happy when he told me to go. Did I learn something from this episode? Yes, that you should not judge the book by its cover.
I have 2 solid tools with me. These tools are very essential when it comes to grooming industry. So I'll give them to you, and I want you to demonstrate how to use them and probably explain how to use them. They are not set, they are not adjusted. I just want you to demonstrate how to use them if they are to be in your possession. So you can come and have it. So I want you to first mention their name, tell me their name and tell me how to use them.
This is a clipper. Then this mostly I've seen is used for shaving this downside.
I see the other one that you say is for shaving. What part of the face do you use it to shave for, and what part of the face is not advisable for you to use it on?
Okay, it's advisable to use it down on the chin, but not on the hair.
It's advisable to
use it down on the chin, but not on the hair.
Okay.
Answer the question.
What about the clippers? Demonstrate if you want to use the clipper to fade. To me.
Fade. Okay, like this.
To fade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
I want to
type
see
of fade are
your
we
hand
talking about?
movements.
What type of fade are we talking about?
Let's say round fade.
Round fade. Okay, like this first, because I'm taking it from the other side.
Round fade like that.
Yes.
Just demonstrate. I want to just see the hand
My hand
movements.
movements.
I mean, you are turning a bar, man. So give it the tools to her. Let me see how she demonstrate the use.
Basically, this is for the lineup.
Okay. So what part of the face is advisable to use it, and what part of the face you should never use it?
So basically, you should never use this on the chin
On the chin,
or like around.
around the chin. Okay.
Like you use this, for the lineup.
Okay.
To get like.
And before you
proper
can use
line.
it for the lineup, do you just use it like that, or is there any other procedure you have to apply before you start using the blade on the lineup?
Not much procedure, but this is for the fade. You have to make sure like you're already like mostly like done with like the haircuts type shit. Then use this to properly get the fade, get the corners right and everything.
So welcome back, and I think by now, with all my questions and my proper check-ins, I can easily tell who the barber is and who are the imposters. So the real barber is the guy. Okay, now I want the actual barber to step forward, which the most surprising thing to me was like, because even me, for me not to be able to get it right, because I wasn't even thinking she's the right person for being the actual barber. I think most of the questions I'm asking her, maybe deliberately she wasn't answering right, so it was very difficult for me to really pick. Wow. So you are the actual barber. Wow. That's awesome. Yeah.